Hi there. That was stupid of me. I'm sorry. I will never do that to you again. I won't ever subject you to me doing stupid shit. No. I won't ever subject you to me doing raspberries like that. Welcome to HMODS. So that's probably definitely going to happen again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Music.
TeknoAXE introduces the new E900 Plus environment noise cancelling headphones. Incorporating XE's visionary digital 7.1 surround sound, the E900 Plus sports their newly designed 50mm speakers, which kick out a kick-ass dynamic range with an earth-shaking low end. Priced at only $43.99, the E900 Plus clinches the trifecta of weight, sound, and price to kick the competition in the daddy bags. Click the link below and use the code HMODS to get 10% off when you order direct from exa.net.
You don't need to see this right now. And you don't need to see this right now. So it's done, I think. And it's done for a while. And yeah, you know what? It's done. I have nothing else to say, but it's done. And it's done for a while. Yeah, I think it's definitely done for a while. I really like... This has been one of those ones that's just sort of turned into much more than it should have been. And... But, you know, if you're watching this, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you watched the other videos. I really got nothing else to say, but check it out. It's Blandalf 2.0. I mean, Blandalf the White 2.0. Ah, I did it again! So there you have it, and I'm sure one of the first things you're saying is, Hobbs, dear friend, what the f happened? Well, if you want to watch the very long process of what actually happened between the last video and what you're seeing here, there's the link right here, and the link is down below. What I did was, between then and now, there was a 4-hour VOD on Twitch, on my Twitch channel, where basically I just overhauled the crap out of it. Not the least of which was run the case power, or the case power cables underneath this bottom panel here to come up into the motherboard base. So you can see right there, it's in there, and I was really impressed with that kind of thing. And I believe I ran the ARGB from the up here hub over here. Basically, I did the same thing, and I just used electrical tape to tape it to the bottom of the chassis. And that was, on my part, I think, a stroke of genius. I didn't have to cut anything out of the panel either, like I did with the front panel. And another thing that you'll see on the VOD is that, you know, switched out the fans, and of course I switched out the air cooler. These, you know, I really enjoyed them. Up here makes some really good stuff. I'll probably use these in like a lower budget, PC in the future, just to get it out the door. But they're a bit outdated. These days you want something PWM, because it's pulse modulated, it's going to save energy, and it improves static pressure. At this point, however, that really isn't a factor, because now there's no panel here. Like, it's gone. It's never going back unless I put an AIO back in there, which I might actually do at some point. I'm just not there yet, because this handy dandy up here PWM ARGB tower cooler that's on here is doing the job. When it's just sitting, or when we're watching movies or something, you're getting this thing's sitting around 43C, which is fine. The 3600X runs a little hot anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Under load, when my gorgeous wife is playing stuff like Back 4 Blood or anything like that, it sits at around 73C, which is, again, it's fine. You know, if you're playing 1080, you know, medium to high settings, this thing's just gonna do the trick. And even with the RX 580, which can play in 1440, it's gonna be, it might spike 75, 76C, which is nowhere near, throttling temps. And so this air cooler will surprise you. I've used them before. I might have used it twice before. I don't remember, but I've definitely used this thing before, and it really, really works. I just noticed this though. I dented it when I was overhauling it. I don't know how, I don't remember when, but I did kind of, when I was working on it, I did kind of drop it. And so there's just this tiny little dent here. I think it hit the corner of something. That's interesting. Since I took the panel off, I'm actually kind of happy with this decision because the cables on the 580, before I took this off, it was sort of just like jammed against the door panel, which you kind of don't like. The wires on the cable can do it as long as you're not like, you know, bending them back and forth and whatever. But I'm happier with this decision now because now it's not like kinking itself just to do the thing, which you want. Even with cable extensions, you want that kind of, you want that kind of freedom. This thing, it's just up against the door panel. The heat pipes were up against the door panel, let alone the cables, which come out way past. And so this thing was just sort of, you know, being pushed out. I know you could get the door panel on just fine, but that's not something you want. Even with cable extensions, which are a third of the price of actual cables, you do not want that. So glad the door panel's off. If I do any upgrading to this, I'm gonna switch out the chassis. That's just a decision that has to be made because there's not a whole lot more I can do with this. If I want to improve performance or upgrade the parts, the chassis gotta go. So I don't know what I would get. I like the form of this case because where it sits, it's just sitting there in a little cubby, and it gets plenty of air because there's air around here and there's plenty of air behind it for the power supply and everything. But there's only a few inches above it, and there's only like 2 inches on each, or well, maybe 3 inches on each side of this for clearance. So if I'm gonna upgrade it, I would have to really give it some serious thought as to one, do I want to keep that in the same cubby? Do I want to move the shelves? Whatever, like it's gonna have to do some serious thought as to what to do with this chassis. But it would have to go. The chassis would have to go because if I upgrade the GPU at all, for one thing, I'm not going with a 1660 or 1650 or anything like that because it's a lateral move. So if I want to upgrade the GPU, the chassis got to go. And if I do upgrade the tower cooler, it would be something like the Scythe Ninja 5 that I've used twice now, and I just love that thing. The up here fans combined with a big giant tower cooler, which costs less than a Noctua, it does the trick. The cold plate on the Scythe Ninja 5 is worth its weight in gold. It's worth the copper weight in gold. It's just, it does the job. It's flat, it gets nice even contact with the lid of the CPU, does the job. So if I do upgrade the tower cooler, and if I don't go with an AIO, I would go with a Ninja 5. That's just money well spent. I do prefer switching out the fans, however, because they are not PWM and they only ramp up to like, I think it's like 1200, no, They don't ramp up very fast. So if you do use a Ninja 5, I recommend switching out the fans for something faster, like these. As you can see, anyway. So the fans, the cooling fans, I got rid of these in favor of the new up here PWM fans. You can get 6 of these for 40 bucks. They ramp up quite fast. They're ARGB. I've gone with white, as you can see, because I like the aesthetic of it, and it provides a nice amount. You can turn them all down, whatever, but it has a nice aesthetic. The RAM has a cycling color scheme, so it's not obtrusive. It's not like stealing my attention while we're watching movies or anything like that. It's pretty. You can get 6 of these fans for 40 bucks. They ramp up to very, very fast speeds. Not that it needs to right now because it's open air, but you will enjoy having them. They're doing the job. Very happy with them, and I've used these many times, and I'll continue to use up here until they get caught scalping their own shit like MSI. Hashtag F you MSI. The funniest thing about this build too is we got it started because the 750 Ti started, crapping out on us, and the whole thing started with that, and so the entire overhaul, as it turns out, was unnecessary. The 750 wasn't crapping out. There was nothing wrong with the motherboard. There was nothing wrong with the CPU. There was nothing wrong with the receiver, thankfully, because that would have been a $3,000 fuck. The problem was a $3 part. This was the problem. That is an HDMI 90-degree adapter that you can get on Amazon for about $3. And it was clearly the problem, because the second we plugged all this in, not 5 minutes later, the same problem happened. So I was like, this is another one of those situations when my gorgeous wife would say, "Didn't I tell you to do the simplest thing first?" And that was the simplest thing. That was the very simplest thing. And it was the only thing that I didn't look at, because the $3,500 stereo system wasn't the issue, because every other channel worked on it. And so when we found out that it wasn't the GPU or anything else in the system, I was like, maybe it's the cable? I switched it out for another one that I had, which was kind of this adjustable one where you can, turn it. And it was fine. And I was like, well, crap, we just spent, $1,500 for no reason. But that's fine. It works great and whatever. And I've since actually replaced that adapter with a 90-degree HDMI cable, which I think I got for, it was a monster cable, so I got it for like 25 or 30 bucks. And that's just where it's gonna stay from now on. So don't get these. These are shit. Anyway, so yeah, that's just one thing, a lesson learned. It's a hilariously tragic lesson. Always check the simplest thing first. It was the same with the Commander. It is the same with Blandalf. It's, just check the simplest thing first, and you'll probably find your problem. It's always the simplest technology that is going to be suspect first. And, well, whatever. I mean, look at this thing. It's gorgeous. As you can see, it's very pretty. That's another thing I did on the 4-hour VOD, was cable manage the fuck out of it. Back here, there's a lot going on, and it's much prettier than it was, as you can see. Up in the front with the very nice cable mod extension cables. I think one thing that I would really like to change about this is add a 14-pin cable comb for this one. So I'll have to talk to Joe at TeknoAXE about that, because I really like these cable combs. As you know, I don't like using cable combs. I don't like using zip ties. But these are pretty singular because you don't see these things very often at all, and I like to use them a lot. They're beautiful to look at. They come in different colors. They come in different finishes. There's like a gunmetal one. There's red. There's green. You can get them in several different colors, and as I understand it, they're coming out with more and more and more, because since the whole COVID thing has ended, he's got his supply chain back. And these are all they're all made in small amounts. So if you can get them, get them. They're really, really cool to look at. And your friends are gonna wonder where you got them, and there you go, there's more business. That's about the only thing I would change up in front, because there's so much work that went into the, oh, is also you can see that plexiglass plate is back in place, and that's because I spent a good half hour cutting at this thing. You really, if you really want to watch the video, go ahead and watch it. It's not boring, and there's music. And the only thing that sucked was that I forgot to put a microphone. So you're gonna have to sit through a little bit of fuzz. But anyway, so that's really what's going on here. I'm very happy with the power supply, the GameMax power supply that had to get switched out. I'm happy with the new fans. I'm happy with the look. I am gonna have to switch out the chassis if we ever want to do any upgrading, but that's you know, an imperial decision that will have to be made. It was always gonna have to be made if we were gonna upgrade it at all, because technology keeps getting bigger. But everything as you see it here, this is about where it's gonna stand for the next couple of years, and I'm perfectly happy with where it's at. So this wasn't the most profound build that we've ever done, but it's still near and dear to my heart, because it's one of the first that I've done for this channel. So thanks for watching, and the next project's gonna be pretty cool. It's called Tango Bravo, and I hope that you like it. See you next week. Bye bye.